day, everyone. We are Group 4, and our theory is Katie Erikson's Caritative Caring Theory. Join us to this new exciting knowledge. Now, let me introduce our group members. First, I am Ivy Sandaran, the leader. Next is Miss Familiar, Mr. Tambong, Miss Vicente, Miss Villafranca, and Miss Killing. Before we start, let's have our icebreaker to energize your nerves. Can you guess the word? Correct! The answer is care. Now, I'll give the mic to the next reporter.
I am Daniela Aguinaldo Kiling and I will be discussing the learning outcomes. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to, number 1, recognize who Katie Eriksson is, her history, background, and contributions. Number 2, to know about the theories she made and how it contributes nowadays. Number 3, to know what is the theory of caritative caring. And number 4, to know the meta-paradigm or the conceptual boundaries of nursing on her theories and in her works. Thank you.
Let's now discuss who is Katie. Katie Eriksson was a key figure in the field of nursing and caring science, particularly in the Nordic countries. Born on November 18, 1943 in Jakobstad, Finland, she grew up speaking Swedish and was part of the Finland-Swedish minority. Eriksson made significant contributions to nursing by helping establish caring science as a distinct area of study. Her journey began when she graduated from the Helsinki Swedish School of Nursing in 1965 and specialized in public health nursing a couple of years later. She then pursued further education at the University of Helsinki, where she earned advanced degrees in the philosophy and education, eventually completing her PhD in 1982. Her research focused on improving patient care and how nursing education should be designed. Eriksson spent much of her career teaching and conducting research. In 1984, she became the first person in the Nordic countries to recognized as an expert in caring science, a field that studies the principles and practices of caring in healthcare. She later became a professor at Abo Akademi University and the University of Helsinki. One of her major contributions was the development of the Caritative Caring Theory, which emphasized a model of care based on kindness and human values. This theory became a cornerstone of caring science, a field she helped shape and promote throughout her life. Katie Eriksson passed away on August 30, 2019, but her work continues to inspire and guide nurses and healthcare professionals today. Her efforts lay the foundation for how caring is understood and practiced in healthcare settings.
Now, let's talk about the career of Eriksson. Eriksson started her career 30 years ago. Those who followed her work with progress in Finland noticed her ability from the beginning to design caring science as a discipline, bringing life to the abstract substance of caring. Eriksson, one of few caring science researchers in the Nordic countries, was a forerunner of basic research in caring science. Eriksson has systematically deepened her thoughts about caring through development of an ideal mode for caring that formed the basis for the caritative caring theory. Eriksson further developed the caritative theory of caring and caring science as a leading academic discipline in the Nordic countries. In addition to her work with teaching, research, and supervision, Eriksson was the Dean of the Department of Caring Science with the central task of developing Nordic and international contacts within caring science. Eriksson was a very popular guest and a keynote speaker in Finland. Next, she consulted at many education institutions in Sweden. She was a regular lecturer there, and in 1991, She was a guest speaker at the 13th International Association for Human Caring. Next, Eriksson's Caritative theory of caring came into clearer focus internationally in 1997. For the first time, the conference arranged in European. Eriksson was a yearly keynote speaker. And last, she currently works as a professor of health science at ABO Academ University in Vaasa. Her main area of work was teaching and research.
A lot of you might wonder, how did Katie Eriksson develop her theory for caritative caring? Did anyone help her? How long did she do it? To answer those questions, Katie developed her theory for caritative caring with the help of the ideas she took from philosophers and thinkers like Anderson Nygren and Hans Georg Gadamer. Her main idea, which is caritas, which also means love and compassion. Aside from the said thinkers, Katie also got some of the ideas from the famous philosopher who is Hakan that help her analyze and develop concepts. Pete Court, who is also Katie's mentor, guided her through the process of the development of this theory. Her main focus in this theory is caring not only the body of a person but also its soul and spirit. Now, let's proceed to Katie's use of empirical evidence. Katie developed her theory using a systematic approach that combines hermeneutics and hypothetical deductive reasoning. Within human science, Eriksson used a special method to understand caring better. She thought that science needed a new way to look at evidence, one that included not just facts but also what is good and beautiful. She tested her ideas in real life, studies and refined them based on what she learned. Her approach has been checked and proven through many research projects.
Hi, I am Deljan Garcia Tambong from BSN 103N, and now I'll be sharing with you some key ideas from Katie Eriksson, a major figure in the field of caring science. So I have here my laptop sa side, and I'll try my best na i-explain yung patungkol sa major assumptions and theoretical assertions sa mas madaling way. Okay, I hope may matutunan kayo. So, Katie Eriksson theory starts with two key ideas. Ito yung axioms and theses. So, axioms are basic truths about the world. Humans are made up of body, soul, and spirit. So, sinasabi din ni Katie Eriksson na ang mga tao daw or tayo ay deeply connected sa isa't isa. She also sees caring or ang pag-aalaga as natural act of love. So pag sinabi nating caring, ganyan, isa itong natural na pagpapakita natin ng pagmamahal. So naniniwala din siya na yung suffering and health ay interconnected siya or parang complement siya sa isa't isa. They work together talaga sa buhay ng tao. And nakikita niya din na health isn't just about not being sick, no? Pag healthy ka or yung health is not just about being sick. It's about being whole and holy. So, when it comes to theoretical assertions naman, Eriksson theory covers several important points. Iba't ibang importanteng punto. Una, ito yung she connects 4 levels of knowledge. Ito yung the very abstract, the theoretical, the practical, and caring as an art. Her theory develops through a process of moving between ideas and real-life experiences. So, yung mga theory niya ay umiikot lang siya patungkol dun sa mga ideas and yung real-life experiences. Hindi lang siya yung puro ideas lang and hindi puro experiences lang. So, merong ideas and yung mga experiences. So, ganun yung theory ni Katie Eriksson. Moving between ideas and real-life experiences. Which she calls dialectal movement. So, yung ganun daw ay ang tawag niya sa ganun ay dialectal movement. Okay? So, she also uses something called abductive reasoning. Again, abductive reasoning. So, pag sinabi nating abductive reasoning, ito yung creative way of thinking. para makadevelop or makadiscover ng something new na insights about caring. So, alam niyo, yung approach pala ni Katie Eriksson ay yung yung isa sa kanyang approach is yung abductive reasoning, kung saan pinapagana niya yung creative na pag-iisip para makadiscover ng mga bagong insights or kaalaman about sa caring. So, at the heart of her theory is Caritas, which means love and compassion. So, Caritas means love and compassion. And ayun, ang pinaka-core ng kanyang theory. So, ang kanyang theory ay umiikot, or ang core, ang sentro ng kanyang mga theory ay yung word na Caritas, which means caring and compassion. So, bawat theory niya, alam nyo na meron siya, na siya ay compassionate, or yung pagpatungkol sa pagiging compassionate ninyo at sa love na binibigay. Okay? Sa education and research, Eriksson theory has been a big part of nursing education in the Nordic countries since 1970s. 1970s. So, it's taught in master's and doctoral programs, no? Tinuturo daw siya sa master's and doctoral programs, and naka-impluwensya siya hindi lang sa mga nurses pero sa other professions din. So, she also pushed for caring science to be part of medical education to help different fields work together better. So, yun, yung pag-push niya sa caring science to be part of medical education ay nakatulong sa iba't ibang field para mag-work together, like complement, gano'n, no? Nag-work sila together smoothly. Yan. In research, Eriksson theories covers many areas like clinical practice, education, interdisciplinary studies. Okay? Tatlo yon. Again, clinical practice, education, and interdisciplinary studies. So, yung mga theory niya ay tested in various ways, no? And she even created a model of developing concept like dignity, suffering, and health. So, since 1970s, ongoing research continued to grow caring science as a discipline. So, yung mga research na ongoing na nangyayari, nakatulong yon para mapalago yung caring science at ma-develop ito as a discipline. Okay? So, exploring areas like ethics, kung paano ba dapat gawin, or siguro ano yung tama at mali. And also, yung paghahanap natin or pagpapalalim natin ng true meaning ng salitang caring. So, in summary, Katie Eriksson works deeply influenced, or kung ano man yung mga natrabaho niya at na iambag niya sa industriya ng nursing at ng medical field. And kagaya nung sabi kanina na hindi lang sa medical field but naka-apekto din ito sa iba't ibang profession, no? Kung ano man yung mga trinabaho niya ay merong malaking ambag. Okay? Nakatulong siya how we understand and practice caring in nursing and beyond. So, nursing and beyond. So, yung mga theory niya or kung ano man yung mga trinabaho niya ay nakatulong hindi lang sa nursing, pati sa iba't ibang profession pa at iba't ibang field. Her ideas about interconnectedness of body and soul and the spirit, the role of suffering, and the central place of love and caring continue to guide and inspire healthcare professional today. So, ayun nga yung mga ideas na nabuo niya kung ano ba yung interconnectedness ng body, soul, and spirit, and ano ba yung role ng suffering sa ating life, and kung ano yung importance ng pag-centralize natin ng love in caring. Nakatulong siya sa pag-guide at pag-inspire ng ating mga medical or healthcare professionals up until today, even gaano pa katagal na nabuo yung mga theory ni Katie Eriksson. So, I hope you learned something from me today or tonight, kung kailan nyo man ito mapapanood. And I hope na may apply ninyo yon. Kagaya nga nung sabi ni Katie Eriksson na ang love ang caring ay natural act of love. So, nurses, alam ko, magaling tayo na magbigay ng pag-aalaga. At natural act yun, or natural action natin yun para i-show yung love natin sa ating mga patients. Good luck, future nurses!
And let's now focus on the meta-paradigm figure. So for person, which is the patient, Eriksson sees each patient as a unique person who deserves respect and care. Nurses should try to understand what the patient is going through and respond with kindness and empathy. For example, if a patient is nervous about surgery, the nurse not only explains the procedure clearly but also offers comfort by listening to the patient's concerns and providing emotional support. And for health, health isn't just about not being sick. It's about feeling whole and well in body, mind, and spirit. Nurses help improve a patient's health by caring for their physical needs as well as their emotional and spiritual well-being. For example, after an illness, a patient might still feel down even if they are physically better. A nurse might suggest activities that lift their spirits, like listening to music they enjoy or arranging for visits from family and friends. So health, based on the book, Eriksson views health as more than just the absence of illness. In her earlier writing, she defines health as a state of soundness, freshness, and well-being. She emphasizes the importance of well-being, which she sees as a key part of health. In her more recent work, Eriksson describes health as a state of wholeness in body, soul, and spirit. Health involves continuous movement and change, where a person is either growing or declining, but never staying the same. Health is the balance between what is actual and what is possible, and it is influenced by a person's energy and vitality. According to Eriksson, health is a journey toward a deeper sense of fullness and holiness. As a person's inner health potential is awakened, this journey becomes visible in different aspects of life. Doing healthy habits and illness preventions, being seeking balance and harmony, and reaching a deeper level of integration and wholeness. For environment, the environment includes everything around the patient, like their physical surroundings and how they feel emotionally. A caring environment is one that helps the patient heal by being safe, comforting, and supportive. For example, in a hospital, creating a healing environment might mean making sure the patient's room is quiet and peaceful, or adding personal touches like family photos to make them feel more at home. Let's discuss the environment based on the book. Eriksson's idea of caring is based on the concept of ethos, which comes from Aristotle's idea that ethics, how we should behave, is rooted in ethos, our character or way of being. For Eriksson, the ethos of caring is built on love, respect, and the dignity of every person. This ethos is the foundation of all caring actions. Ethos is like an inner moral compass guiding how we care for others, and good care and true understanding are shown through this ethos. Ethos originally meant home, symbolizing a person's most personal, vulnerable space. In caring, ethos and ethics, which is moral principles, are deeply connected and become one. Eriksson believes ethos drives us to serve others, and this is the core of a caring culture. This ethos reflects the values that shape ethical actions in caring. In the 1990s, Eriksson reintroduced the idea that suffering is central to caring. She emphasized that suffering is a natural part of life and has no clear cause or definition. While suffering itself may not have meaning, people can find meaning in it by accepting it. Eriksson differentiates between suffering that can be endured, which can coexist with health, and suffering that is unbearable, which can paralyze a person. Caring involves helping to ease someone's suffering by acknowledging it and supporting them as they come to terms with it. Ultimately, the goal of caring is to relieve suffering which can arise from illness, care itself, or life in general. And last one is nursing. Nursing is about more than just medical care. It's about showing love and compassion. Nurses build caring relationship with their patients, aiming to relieve their pain and help them feel respected and valued. For example, for a patient nearing in the end of life, a nurse might focus on making them comfortable, managing their pain, and being there to listen, ensuring the patient feels dignified and cared for in their final days. Let me discuss more further development of Eriksson's theory. Eriksson kept building on her ideas and her theory of caritative caring to explore new directions and deepen what she had previously established. Most of this work including systematic research and the growth of caritative caring theory happened through research programs in her former department where her team and postdoctoral researchers contributed. The topics chosen by PhD students were closely linked to these programs, adding to the ongoing development of Eriksson's theories. In recent years, Eriksson emphasized the importance of basic research in clinical caring science. She highlighted the need to understand the caring reality in three ways: how it is experienced by people, how it is practiced, and its deeper, more mysterious aspects. This deep reality, which holds the essence of caring, can be understood in a philosophical sense as a way of living and being. The growth of knowledge in caring science changes depending on the focus of research. Eriksson was also particularly interested in developing the ethical side of caritative caring. The theory of caritative caring continues to evolve through ongoing research and ethical testing. So for clarity, one of the strengths of Eriksson's theory is its clear and logical structure. Each new concept she introduced fits into a larger, well-organized framework. She believed that before dividing into specific details of the theory, it was important to first have a clear understanding of the basic concepts. Eriksson used methods like concept analysis to achieve clarity in both meaning and structure. However, for those unfamiliar with her approach, some concepts might seem complex, but for those who have followed her work, it's evident that her abstract ideas reveal practical insights and strengthen the overall theory. And for simplicity, Eriksson's theory is also praised for its simplicity, which comes from its clear and logical presentation. A hermeneutic approach, which involves interpreting and understanding deeper meanings, has further simplified the theory by linking theory and practice as two sides of the same coin. According to Eriksson, understanding a theory involves applying it, and her theory encourages deeper involvement and connection between ideas and reality. And for generality, Eriksson's theory is broad and general in that it proves a foundational ethical and philosophical framework for caring, which is central to the discipline. The theory's core concepts and principles are designed to be abstract enough to apply to various caring situations, yet detailed enough to be meaningful and influential in different contexts. And accessibility, Eriksson's ideas have gained recognitions across different disciplines and professions. She developed a language that resonates with both researchers and practitioners in human sciences. The empirical testing of her theory showcased a blend of clarity, simplicity, and generality, all while maintaining a rich substance and clearly expressed values. And for importance, Eriksson's development of her caritative caring theory over the past 30 years has had a significant impact on clinical practice, research, education, and the overall growth of the caring discipline. Her work has established a strong tradition in nursing and caring science, which continues to contribute to the advancement of these fields.
Case study. The case presented is a philosophy of practice by ULF donor, leader of Foundation Home at the psychiatric nursing home in Finland, that for 15 years has based its practice on Erikson's caritative theory of caring. Even at an early stage in our serving in caring science, we caregivers recognize ourselves in the caring science theory, which stresses the healing force of love and compassion in the form of tending, playing, and learning in faith, hope, and charity. The caritative culture is made visible with the help of symbols, rituals, and traditions. For instance, with the stone that burns with the light of the Trinity and the daily common time for spiritual reflection. In every meeting with the suffering human being, the attributes of love and charity are striven for, and the day involves discussion of reconciliation, forgiveness, and how we as caregivers can tend by nourishing and cleansing on the level of becoming, being, and doing. In the struggle in love and compassion to reach a fellow human being who, because of suffering, has withdrawn from the communion to, to find common horizons. The sacrifice of the caregiver is constantly available. We work with people who often have the feeling that they do not deserve the love they encounter and who, in various ways, try to convince us caregivers of this. We experience patients' disappointment in their destructive acts, and we constantly have to remember that it may be broken promises that produce such dynamics. Sometimes, it may be difficult to recognize that suffering expressed in this way in an abstract sense seeks an embrace that does not give way but it's strong enough to give shelter to this suffering. In a way that makes a becoming movement possible. In recognizing what is bad and when is difficult, horizons in the field of force are expanses, and the possibility of bringing in ray of light and hone is open. As caregivers, we constantly ask ourselves whether the words, the language we use, bring promise and how we can create linguistic footholds in the void by means of images and symbols. In our effort to nourish and cleanse, that which constitutes the basic movement of tending, we often recognize the importance of teaching the patient to be able to mourn disappointments and affirm the possibilities of forgiveness in the movement of reconciliation. We also try to bring about the open invitation to the suffering human being to join a communication with the help of myths, legends, and tales concerned with human questions about evil versus good and about eternity and infinity. Reading aloud with common reflective periods often provides us caregivers a possibility of getting closer to patients without getting too close and opens the door for the suffering the patient bears. In the act of caring, we strive for openness with regard to the patient's face and a confirmative attitude that responds to the appeal that we can recognize that the patient direct to us. When we as caregivers respond to the patient's appeal for charity, we are faced with the task of confirming the holiness of the other as a human being. Our constant effort is to make it possible for the patient to re-establish his or her dignity, accomplish his or her human mission, and to enter through communion. That's all.
And before we end the presentation, so the summary for our theory, Eriksson's Caritative-based theory and her whole caring science thinking have developed over the course of many years. Although she worked at an abstract level developing concepts and theory, the theory is characteristically rooted in clinical reality and teaching, where the caritative theory and caring have distinctive character and deeper meaning. The ultimate goal of caring is to alleviate suffering and serve life and health. Knowledge formation for Eriksson was a hermeneutic spiral starting from the thought that the ethics precedes ontology. In a concrete sense, this implies that the thought of human holiness and dignity is kept alive in all phases of the search for knowledge. Ethics precedes ontology in theory as well as in practice. Eriksson's caring science in tradition and discipline of caring science form a basis for the activity at the Department of Caring Science at Abu Academy University. Erikson's caritative caring theory and the disciplines of caring science inspired many and are used as the basis for research, education, and clinical practice. Many of her original textbooks, published mainly in Swedish, have been translated into Finnish, Norwegian, and Danish. So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening and we hope you learned from us. Goodbye!